A very good morning to all. Class 11th Economics. So before we start our class, let's take the name of God. So be ready for the Gayatri Mantra, everyone. Be in Gyan Mudra. Close your eyes and recite Gayatri Mantra. Good morning to all. Welcome back to economics class. कैसे हैं आप लोग? How are you all? Good. Yes, Himanshu, I know. Rishabh, I think you should change your profile picture. No? Okay. Continue with the topic which we left yesterday. I think all these slides we have already covered. Like what is economic problem? Economic problem we have done already. And along with the economic problem also we have covered that what are the causes of economic problem, because why economic problem arises, that is also very much important to learn about the economic problem. So that is already we have covered. These were the three reasons: unlimited wants, scarce resources, and resources have alternative uses. These two characteristics of resources also we have covered. Then branches of economics is also done: microeconomics and macroeconomics. When we talk about microeconomics, we actually talk about individual behavior, as I told you. And when we talk about the macroeconomics, that time we talk about the macro behavior, aggregate behavior. Which means in microeconomics, we study the individual demand, individual supply. But in macroeconomics, we study aggregate demand, aggregate supply, which means there we talk about the aggregate things, right? The difference, this difference we have already covered. Then meaning of economy also is completed. Then types of economies. Three types of economies I told you: capitalist, socialist, and mixed economy. Anyone would like to give a light on these three types of economies? Please raise your hands. Just raise your hands so that I'll ask from you. Okay, Nilima. I'm unmuting you, Nilima. You have to just define me these three different types of economies that is being found in our world. Yes, Nilima, over to you.
So first one is the capitalist economy or the free market economy. In this, the private firms are taking all the decisions. In this second, we have the central or the socialist economy. In this, all the decisions are made by the government of that country, and in the mixed economy, it is a hybrid of social and capital economy. In this, both private and government firms together take decisions.
Very good, Nilima. So my next question to you all, that is, if I say that you are living in a free market economy, which means that is the capitalist economy, tell me how the problems will be solved out in the free market economy. What will be the scenario of solving out the problems in the free market economy or capitalist economy? Kindly write in the chat box. Everybody, it's an open question to you all. Do write in the chat box that how in the capitalist economy all the economic problems are being solved. Although you can just see at the diagram given under these three names. Yes, I started getting answers in chat box. Very good. Everybody, I want answer from everyone. Please do write that how in the free market or capitalist economy the problems are solved. Very good, Darshika. Very good, Nilima. Ankita Singh. Very good. Please, others also be the part of class. Answer in the chat box. Do write. Vidyanshi, Sadika. Good. Yes. On the basis of demand and supply. Of course, on the basis of demand and supply and price mechanism. Very good, Rishabh. Because in private, when we are saying capitalist economy, that means everything, every control is in the hands of private. So of course, private is going to look at the matter, look at the problem to solve it out with the help of demand and supply. Okay, what about the centrally planned economy? What about the socialist economy? How the problems will be solved in the socialist economy? If I'm residing in a country like China, then tell me how economic problems will be solved out in that country. Which of the thing is being followed by the socialist economy to solve all its economic problems? Yes, very good. Central department will solve the problems. Ankita Singh, very good, Ankita. Central department will solve the problem, of course. सेंट्रल डिपार्टमेंट ही है जो प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करेगा, राइट? बिकॉज देयर इज अ सेंट्रल प्लानिंग अथॉरिटी and that central planning authority is definitely going to solve out all your problems. वो सारी की सारी problems आपकी solve out कर देंगे. Then third one is the mixed economy, which is the hybrid of the both socialist and capitalist, and it will work as some of the things it would be taking from the some of the problems will be solved by the private sector, whereas some other problems which are in the hand of government control only, they'll be solving the problem of government sector. Government sector will be solving all the problems, right? तो this in detail we have already covered. तो ये कल हम सब कर चुके हैं already. So moving further, today's topic. First, positive economics and normative economics. Very important topic. Important for almost 4 marks in exam. The difference can be asked between positive and normative economics. This is also called positive science and normative science. So let me tell you, this is also called positive science as well as normative science. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि it's positive economics only. इसको हम positive science और normative science भी बोलते हैं. So let me just write here. This is also called positive science. And if we talk about this, अगर हम यहाँ की normative economics की बात करें तो yes, this is also called normative science. So positive and normative science और positive economics और normative economics, please ध्यान से समझना. When we say positive economics, let us start with help of an example. Let me start with the help of an example. I give you a statement. India is an overpopulated country. This is my statement. India is an overpopulated country. Now this statement is telling me the fact, right? This statement is telling me the fact. This is a positive economics. This is called a positive economic statement, which means any statement in the economics, which is telling us the proper fact, any figure, any such economic actual behavior would be termed as a positive economics. That would be the statement of positive economics, right? But if I talk about the normative economics, now let me give you the example. In the normative economics, I said the population of India should be reduced. Mind it, the population of India should be reduced. This is not telling the fact. This is telling the opinion. ये हमें opinion बता रहा है that this thing should be there. ऐसा होना चाहिए. This is the statement of normative economics. This is the statement of normative economics. I hope I am clear with this point. Positive economics always means a statement in economics which is giving us the actual fact, actual figures, the actual economic behavior which is going on in the economy. But when we talk about the normative economics tells us that what should be there. It tells us what should be there, or it tells us that what thing is desired in economy. What is desired in economy? I hope the meaning is clear to everyone, that what is positive economics and what is normative economics. So let me give you one more example. You have to tell me by writing in the chat box whether the statement which I'm going to pass belongs to the positive economics or normative economics. The statement is, poverty ratio in the country is 21%. Poverty ratio in the country is 21%. Of course, it is positive. Very good. A very quick response from all of you. Positive economics. Reason? Because it is telling us the proper fact of the economy, that the poverty ratio in the country is 21%. It is telling us the proper fact, and not only the fact, the fact is being told us by including the figures also in that, which means the proper facts and figures are there in this statement, which are telling me that what is the situation in the economy. So that is the positive economics. I hope that I am clear. Okay, normative one. अब वो किस तरह बताया जा सकता है? The poverty removal schemes are expected to reduce poverty below 5%. This is the normative economics. Why? Because it is telling us the opinions, or it is telling us the value judgments. Because this is an opinion, and because it is an opinion, it is not the true actual figure. It is not the actual figure. It is the opinion only. ये एक opinion है कि ऐसा होना चाहिए. I hope I am clear with this. So whenever the question is asking us about the positive economics and normative economics, we will simply telling that positive economics belongs to a situation. A statement in the positive economics is basically which tells us the proper facts and figures. Whereas when we talk about the normative economics, the statements passed in normative economics are the opinions. All right, I think yahan tak clear hai. First point, one difference. Let us talk about the second difference. We can explain it as positive economics tells us what is. तो हम लोग what is को थोड़ा सा inverted commas में कर देंगे ना. It tells us about what is. ये हमें बताता है कि actual में क्या है economy के अंदर, right? So let me write it here. It tells us about what is. All right. But when we talk about the normative economics, जब हम बात करते हैं normative economics की, it doesn't tell us about what is. It tells us about what ought to be. All right. It tells us about what ought to be. क्या होना चाहिए. I hope I'm clear with this now. Positive economics tells us what is. You know, when we are saying what is, actually we are talking about figures and facts in the economy. क्या है actually, है ना? But when we are saying what ought to be, जब हम normative में बात कर रहे हैं what ought to be, then we are talking about what should be there. Suggestion, क्या होना चाहिए. So the statements in positive economics refers to what is in the economy, and the statement of normative economics refers to what ought to be, what should be there, क्या होना चाहिए. I hope I'm clear. Okay, next difference, let me tell you. The next difference is the positive economics is not at all suggestive in nature, right? The positive economics is not at all suggestive in nature. जो पॉजिटिव इकोनॉमिक्स है वो कभी भी सजेस्टिव नहीं होती है, which means it just deals with the facts and figures only. It is not at all suggestive in nature. It doesn't give any suggestions to people. It just tells us what is going on there in the economy. It just tells us what is the actual figure or what are the actual facts in the economy. So it never tells us that what should be there. No, it is never suggestive in nature, because it simply tells us the actual figure in the economy which is going on. But when we talk about the normative economics, लेकिन जब हम बात करते हैं normative economics की, that is suggestive in nature. वो suggestive होती है. That is suggestive in nature. For example, now I'm giving you one more example. You have to tell me whether that belongs to which of the two statements referred to in this case. Okay, the inflation rate in India is nearly increased by 2%. Lochan has given me the answer. Okay, Khushi, Anshika, Aryan, Dhruv, Ketan, Siddhi, Nilima. Okay, I'm getting a lot of answers. Please forgive me if I am not taking your name, because वो बहुत जल्दी जल्दी ऊपर जा रहा है chat box. Ankita, Pulkit, Nilima. Positive economics, very good. That is positive one, because it tells us the fact that the inflation rate in India has increased by 2% nearly. So it tells us the fact only. That is the positive economics, right? When we talk about the normative, तो चलो एक और example देते हैं आपको. Some steps should be taken to reduce the inflation in India. Some steps should be taken to reduce the inflation in India. Very good. Khushi, Himanshu, Dhruv, Anshika, Dhruv Bansal, Paridhi, Lochan, Rishabh, Abhay, Vansh. Please forgive me if I am not able to take your name due to quick response from you people only. Ketan, Pulkit, Ambika, Samay. Very good, everyone. Normative economics. So I hope you all are now, you have got the concept of positive and normative. So if this question comes for 4 marks, let me tell you that how you have to write the answer. First of all, just write down the meaning, that positive economics is the statements in the economics which gives us the statement using facts and figures. But normative economics refers to those statements which is not using any fact or figures. These are just the opinions. Secondly, you can tell that positive economics is about what is, and normative economics is about what ought to be. right? Third difference, you can just write down the examples of both. Positive में positive का example लिख दीजिए, normative में you can write the example of normative one. Fourth difference, you can write that positive economics is suggestive. It is not suggestive in nature. Positive economics is not suggestive in nature, but normative economics is suggestive in nature. जो normative economics है वो suggestive होती है. It gives these value judgments or it gives the suggestions in the economy, right? इसका जरा third point देखते हैं हम लोग. Such statements can be positive में देखिए, such statements can be verified because they are based on the fact and figures. यानी कि the statements which are in the positive economics can definitely be verified. उनको verify किया जा सकता है by the facts and figures, because these are the facts and figures. No, these statements are based on the facts and figures. So definitely we can verify कि from which source you have taken this figure or you have taken this that fact. So we can see to it, right? So ultimately positive economic statements can be verified, but when we talk about the normative economics, such statements cannot be verified because they are based on the opinions and judgments, and my judgments can definitely be different from your judgment or from any other's judgment. So definitely the normative economic statement cannot be verified, but we can verify the positive economic statements because these reflect us the figures and facts, and the figures and facts can definitely be verified that from which source you have taken that figure or fact. So is it clear? Let me what do you say? Shall I go to the next slide? Next topic. This is clear to all? Kindly write in the chat box if it is clear to all. I'll be moving to the next topic then, because after this we are going to start the last topic of the chapter. That was the second last topic. Okay, it is clear to all. Everyone is saying it's clear, but still let me ask from you people first, then I'll be moving to the other one. Okay, I'll be asking from Rishabh Tomar. Rishabh, I'm unmuting you. Kindly tell me the difference between positive and normative economics. Rishabh, over to you.
Positive economics. In positive economics, it studies about the actual facts and figures, but in normative economics, it does not study about facts and figures.
Okay, tell me any one of the example of each case.
In positive economics, like the poverty ratio, the poverty ratio in the country might be 30%, but in normative economics, in positive economics, there is actual percentage facts like 30%, but in normative science, like poverty removal,
or we can say the poverty should be reduced in India,
reduced
at least
yes,
by
5%,
5%, which means where we are giving the
15%.
suggestion. Very good. Okay,
Yes.
Please mute yourself. Let's go to some other children for giving out the at least four differences or three differences. Siddhi, I'm unmuting you. Siddhi, so you have to tell me at least three differences between positive and normative science.
Positive economics, it refers to those statements which tells about the actual facts and figures. It tells us what is going on in the economy. Normative economy, it do not tells about the facts and figures. It tells about it is based on opinions and judgments. Second difference is it tells about what if, whereas normative economy, it tells about what ought to be. Third difference is positive economics is suggestive in nature, whereas normative economics is not suggestive in nature.
Fine, Siddhi. Thank you so much. So let's move to the other children. Please mute yourself, Siddhi. Let's move to the other children who will just explain me at least two examples of positive and normative. Any two example, but other than which we have already discussed. Namish Jalan. Namish, I have unmuted you. Kindly tell me at least two examples of each case, positive and normative, but examples must be different from which what we have discussed here now. Yes, over to you, Namish.
The number of COVID-19 cases in India is 7 lakh. Positive
Very
economic.
good.
And the
Okay.
second example is number of people that died during COVID-19 in India are around 5 to 6, 10,000.
Okay. Good. And what
Or
about the normative one?
normative economics. It is estimated that nearly 10 million people will, will die with COVID-19 in this
Okay.
epidemic all over the world.
Okay.
And an example is the vaccine. It is expected that the vaccine of COVID-19 will be made after 2 years or so.
Good. Very good, Namish. Too quick. Claps for you. Okay. Moving further. Let's talk about. Okay, Khushi has written something. Inequalities on the basis of economy is positive economics. Inequalities of income should to be reduced. That is normative economics. Very good, Khushi. Very good. Good example. Okay. Now moving further to our next topic. Yes, this we have already covered. Central problems of an economy, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So I'm moving further again to the next slide. This we have already covered. All the three problems. Is there any doubt in all the three problems? It is very important question. If you have any doubt, I can explain once again. Tell me. Otherwise, I'll be moving to the last topic of the chapter, which we'll be completing tomorrow. Tell me if there is any doubt. I'll be repeating once again all these three central problems. Otherwise, I'll be moving to the next topic. Okay, Darshika is saying no doubt. Others also please reply in the chat box. Siddhi, no doubt. Nilima, no doubt. Okay. Dhruv Gupta, Bansal. Okay. Ankita. Okay, fine. Let us go to the next one. Everybody has replied. It's clear. Okay, fine. But I'm just going to take a test very soon. Once this unit would be over, I'm going to take again a test. And this time I'm thinking to give you the explanatory questions also along with MCQ. So please start learning this chapter. Okay. The next topic is production possibility curve, PPC. First of all, the other names are also written: production possibility frontier and transformation curve. See, one assumption which we have already taken while starting the introduction of microeconomics, that there are scarcity of resources in our economy, which is actually the root cause of each and every problem also in the economy, and everyone is aware of that, right? I hope I'm clear. So everyone is aware of the problem, which is the root cause of economic problem, and that root cause is scarcity of resources. You know, that scarcity of resource only gives rise to many other problems also. Now, for example, I need to produce two commodities. I am a producer. Please listen to me very carefully. This is the concept of PPC, right? So please listen very carefully. I am a producer. I am producing good X and good Y. I am producing good X and good Y. Two goods I am producing. But I have limited resource only, because everybody know that in every economy, in every country, there are limited resources. So with those limited resources, I have started production of good X and good Y. Suppose all the resources I have applied on good X, then definitely I would not be buying any commodity of good Y. Agreed or not? If I have limited resource with me for the production, and I am going to produce two commodities, good X and Y. I have applied all the resources on production of X. Then don't you think while doing production of X with the all resources, you will not be producing y because you have applied all the resources on x. Pehla condition. Agreed. Fine. Secondly, if you want to increase the production of y, अब आप चाहते हो कि y को कुछ यूनिट्स बनाएं, तो what I need to do, आप खुद सोच के बताओ पहले, फिर मैं बताऊंगा बाद में. First you tell me, if I now, देखो resources limited है, 1000 rupees, ऐसे समझो, there are 1000 rupees, resources are limited, and with the 1000 rupees I'm going to produce two commodities x and y. पहले तो पहले केस में मैंने क्या किया, complete 1000 I have applied on x, which means I am producing 0 units of y. Now I want that I should increase the production of y also. Then what I should do, what I need to do for x? Very good, very good. You people started giving answers me in chat box. Very good people, very good students. We have to reduce the production of x, है ना? We have to reduce the production of x. तो जरा ये टेबल देखो, just look at this table. A, B, C, D and E. These are the combinations. ये A combination है. What is in A combination? In A combination, what we are doing is we are completely utilizing our resources on X, on wheat, and we are not producing anything of Y, that is rice. This is the first combination. Is it clear? For the combination A, which is my production possibility, मतलब as a producer मैं कितनी production का कैसे कैसे production कर सकता हूँ. So combination A says that apply all the resources on wheat. Apply all your resources on wheat in the production of wheat and do not produce rice. This is the first combination, where applying all the resources on the production of wheat, I am producing 0 units of rice. This is the first combination. Now let us go for the second combination. अभी हम चलते हैं जरा second combination पे. The second combination is B. Now what happens in B combination? When I talk about the combination B, अब मैंने क्या किया? Let us produce more 10 units of X या Y, that is rice. कि अभी मुझे 10 units rice की बनानी है. Resources तो limited हैं. अगर मुझे 10 units rice की बनानी है, तो मैंने wheat के साथ क्या किया? 10 units wheat की कम कर दी. That's what I did. If I want to produce 10 units of X या 10 units of rice, I need to reduce the 10 units of wheat. आप देख रहे हो? पहले we were producing 100 wheat. Now I am producing 90 wheat. क्यों? क्योंकि I have started production of rice also. Question आता है, ठीक है, आप start कर रहे हो production of rice. You have a lot of resources. You can do the production simultaneously. Not at all, because we already know that there is scarcity of resource in the economy. And because there is scarcity of resource, I need to take care of this. मुझे तो ये take care करना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि resources तो scarce है ना? Okay, let us talk about the third one. चलो third one की बात करते हैं. C. When I talk about the C combination, what I observe? अभी मुझे 20 units और बनाने हैं राइस के. देखा आपने? 20 units और बनाने हैं राइस के, तो मैंने क्या किया? मैंने wheat के 20 units कम कर दिए, 90 से 70 कर दिया. wheat के 20 units कम कर दिए, राइस के मैंने क्या किया? राइस के मैंने 20 units बढ़ा दिए. यानी कि for making 10 more units of rice, from 10 to 20, for making 10 more units of rice, I need to reduce 20 units of wheat. I need to reduce 20 units of wheat. Again, for making 10 more units of rice, so that it reaches to 30, I need to reduce 30 units of wheat. For making 10 more units of rice, I need to reduce 40 units of wheat. What do you observe from this? Please tell me, what do you observe from this scenario? क्या पूरा observe कर रहे हैं आप इससे? मैंने तो एक चीज observe कर ली. What you people are observing? Tell me. What you observe in this, please answer. I will write here the answer. ऑब्जर्वेशन, बात करते हैं जरा ऑब्जर्वेशन की। क्या ऑब्जर्वेशन आई? ऑब्जर्वेशन ये आई, हाँ वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। ओके, I'm writing the observation here. For making 10 more units of rice, for making 10 more units of rice, the loss or the sacrifice of wheat is increasing. Agreed or not? The sacrifice of wheat is increasing. Do you agree or not? Pehle to tell me this point. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Very good. You should agree. Khushi, Ankita, Vidyanshi, Anshika, Dhruv, Darshika. Very good. For making 10 more units of rice, the sacrifice of wheat is increasing. पहले sacrifice कितना किया आपने? 10 का. Then you sacrificed 20 units of wheat. पहले we sacrificed 10 units of wheat, then 20, then 30, then 40. This is your sacrifice, which is kept on increasing, है ना? Which is increasing. This is your sacrifice. Now coming back to the definition. See the definition. Production possibility curve is the graphic presentation of PPC, which consist different combinations of two goods. यही तो थे combinations. Yes, the combinations which we just made. These are the combinations. That means if a producer is making production of two different commodities differently with the different combinations, that is actually the PPC. That is actually the production possibility curve. If all these combinations are drawn on a diagram, it becomes production possibility curve. All right. Baki in detail, I'll be taking this tomorrow because anytime the class is going to end, it is almost less than 1 minute.